When you hear the words Jurassic Park, what do you think of? You probably think of John Williams' soaring musical score. You think of Jeff Goldblum's cool leather jacket. You think of a magical, family-friendly adventure movie with a few scary T-Rex moments sprinkled in. Steven Spielberg gave us a masterpiece of cinema. But Steven Spielberg lied to you. Or, at least, he protected you. Because the original 1990 novel by Michael Crichton is not an adventure story. It is a hard-R, incredibly violent, pessimistic survival horror novel. In the movie, the dinosaurs are treated like majestic animals. In the book, they are biological weapons. They are genetic mutants that tear people apart in graphically detailed stomach-churning ways. If the book were adapted word for word today, it would make Alien look tame. Welcome to the dark side of Isla Nublar. Over the next 3 episodes, we are going to explore the terrifying differences between the movie you love and the book that will give you nightmares. And we have to start at the very beginning, because the movie opens on a remote island. But the book opens on the mainland of Costa Rica. And it proves that the dinosaurs didn't just escape the park. They had already invaded the human world. The movie actually borrows a tiny piece of the book's opening. Remember the scene where a worker gets attacked by a velociraptor while moving the cage, and they rush him to a doctor. In the movie, they cover it up by saying he was crushed by a bulldozer. In the book, it's much more sinister. A young doctor named Bobby Carter is working at a rural clinic in Costa Rica when an Indian helicopter lands in the middle of the night. They bring in a young worker whose body has been shredded. His chest is torn open. His shoulder is missing. The engine supervisor claims it was a backhoe accident. But as the boy is dying, he grabs the doctor's shirt and whispers a single word in Spanish. Lo, raptor. The doctor thinks he means a bird of prey, but the local villagers in the clinic are terrified. They whisper a different word, hoopia. What is a hoopia? In local Costa Rican folklore, the hoopia are night vampires. They are faceless spirits that kidnap children and drag them into the jungle. The locals believe the jungle has been cursed. Why? Because recently, something has been coming out of the rainforest at night. Something small, something fast. These creatures have been creeping into villages and attacking the locals. The movie cuts this entire subplot out. Steven Spielberg wanted to contain the danger to the island. But Michael Crichton, the author, wanted you to know immediately that humanity had already lost control. The containment had already failed. The dinosaurs were breeding. They had gotten onto supply boats, and they were already migrating to the mainland. And the dinosaurs that escaped weren't the giant, stomping T-Rexes. They were the absolute worst ones, the scavengers, the Procompsognathus, or, as the park workers call them, the Compis. If you've seen the sequel, The Lost World, you remember the Compis. They are the little green dinosaurs that attack the little girl on the beach. Even then, it's treated as a slightly scary, but mostly bloodless scene. In the original novel, the Compis are the stuff of pure nightmare. They are described as the size of a chicken, moving with the jerky, terrifying speed of an insect. And they make a very specific sound, a soft, rhythmic chirping, hup, 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 because they are scavengers. They don't hunt big prey. They look for the weak, the injured, the small. And this leads to the most disturbing scene in the entire book, a scene so dark. There was absolutely zero chance it would ever make it into a PG-13 summer blockbuster. In the first few chapters of the book, a Costa Rican midwife is checking on a newborn baby in a rural clinic. She leaves the room for just a moment. While she is gone, she hears a strange chirping sound. Hup, hup, hup. When she returns to the nursery, she finds 3 small, green, lizard-like creatures standing over the bassinet. They aren't just looking at the baby, they are eating it. The midwife screams. The creatures don't run away in fear. They just stare at her, their snouts dripping with blood, like dogs interrupted over a bowl of meat. Then they scurry out the window into the jungle. The baby does not survive. It gets worse. When scientists eventually examine the saliva of these creatures, they make a horrifying discovery. The compies are venomous. Their bite contains a neurotoxin. It doesn't kill you right away. It acts like a sedative. It paralyzes you. It makes you feel sleepy and peaceful. Why? Because they are scavengers. They want their prey to stop moving so they can eat it alive without a struggle. When they bit that infant, they paralyzed it. This is the brilliant, terrifying writing of Michael Crichton. He took a dinosaur the size of a chicken and turned it into a demonic, venomous rat that eats human infants. And this happens before Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler even get a phone call to visit the park. So, if dinosaurs are eating babies on the mainland, why isn't the military stepping in? Because of corporate greed and human arrogance. One of the local doctors manages to kill one of these compi. He sends the partially destroyed corpse to a laboratory in the United States to figure out what it is. But the scientists at the lab are arrogant. They don't believe in the impossible. They look at this 3-toed, strange-looking reptile and say, "Oh, it must be a mutated basilisk lizard. Case closed." They actively ignore the warning signs. Meanwhile, Ingenieur Company that owns Jurassic Park knows exactly what is happening. They know their dinosaurs are escaping. They know the animals are breeding because they used frog DNA to fill the gene sequence, allowing the female dinosaurs to change sex. But they cover it up. They pay off the local governments. They silence the doctors. They care more about their billion-dollar theme park than they do about the lives of the people in Costa Rica. The opening of the Jurassic Park novel perfectly sets the tone for the rest of the book. This isn't a story about the wonder of nature. It's a story about the arrogance of science and the greed of capitalism. The dinosaurs are monsters, yes, but the people who created them are worse. Which brings us to the most shocking difference of all. In the movie, the creator of the park, John Hammond, is a lovable, misguided grandfather. He just wanted to show the world something beautiful, spared no expense. He says with a smile, in the book, John Hammond is the main villain. He is a greedy, narcissistic psychopath who blames his own employees for dying, refuses to take responsibility, and actively hates his own grandchildren. And the best part, in the book, John Hammond doesn't get to fly away in a helicopter. He gets exactly what he deserves, at the teeth of his own creations. Next time on The Novel Was a Nightmare, We expose the dark truth of John Hammond, and we read the incredibly satisfying, brutal scene where the billionaire gets eaten alive. Make sure you subscribe so you do to miss Episode 2. And let me know in the comments, would you have wanted to see the baby eater scene in the movie? Or was it too dark for Hollywood?